strike is on global warming, and I'm also going to be talking about hashtag Greta Thunberg, hashtag climate change is real, and hashtag climate strike. So my thesis is that carbon dioxide is not able to be seen. This threat is not visible, but it is very real. This means that global temperatures go up, extreme weather goes up with incidences like floods, melting ice, rising sea levels, and ocean acidity goes up. My theory is that ultimately there is a global warming conspiracy theory which tells us that a group of scientists have a secret plan to do something unlawful. But unfortunately, the climate change denial was replaced by political and public controversies. So the political climate is that this slide basically says that many Americans are disappointed that people don't treat the planet on a friendly way. So the pronounced viewpoint is that Americans think of global warming on different ways, and that Democratic liberals support the idea of global warming while Republican conservatives think that it is nonsense. That is basically what this slide is mentioning. So zooming in on Greta Thunberg, so she attracted attention on millions of people when she came to New York, so millions of people participated in a climate strike. They were paying attention to her energy level and identifying the conference. She squeezed politicians for depending on young people with regards to climate change. So Greta Thunberg is concerned with weather change. So zooming in on climate change, so the planet's average surface temperature increased by approximately 1.62 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 0.9 degrees Celsius. And then over the past century, the rise of carbon dioxide and other human-made emissions went in the atmosphere. So almost all the warming happened during the previous 35 years, along the 5 warmest years that were on record since 2010. So the year 2016 was not only the warmest year on record, but 8 of those 12 months that make up that year, which is January through September, especially June, had the highest temperature on record. So zooming in on hashtag climate strikes, on March 15, 2019, there were many school strikes motivating adults to take control and prevent the climate change that happened. There were more than 1 million people that participated in approximately 2,200 events throughout the world across 125 countries. So the symbolic policies explain that there is a divestment that have a duty for increasing consciousness regarding the climate crisis for symbolic demonstrations. But the thing is that people were not stopped from using fossil fuel, which contributes to the rise of temperatures. So here I have 2 video clips, and each video clip on its own way discusses what are and what can be the causes of global warming.
For 2.5 million years, the Earth's climate has fluctuated, cycling from ice ages to warmer periods. But in the last century, the planet's temperature has risen unusually fast, about 1.2 to 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists believe it's human activity that's driving the temperatures up, a process known as global warming. Ever since the Industrial Revolution began, factories, power plants, and eventually cars have burned fossil fuels such as oil and coal, releasing huge amounts of carbon dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere. These greenhouse gases trap heat near the Earth through a naturally occurring process called the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect begins with the sun and the energy it radiates to the Earth. The Earth and the atmosphere absorb some of this energy, while the rest is radiated back into space. Naturally occurring gases in the atmosphere trap some of this energy and reflect it back, warming the Earth. Scientists now believe that the greenhouse effect is being intensified by the extra greenhouse gases that humans have released. Evidence for global warming includes a recent string of very warm years. Scientists report that 1998 was the warmest year in measured history, with 2005 coming in second. Meanwhile, readings taken from ice cores show that the greenhouse gases carbon dioxide and methane have hit their highest levels in the past 420,000 years. Arctic sea ice is also shrinking. According to NASA studies, the extent of Arctic sea ice has declined about 10% in the last 30 years. As long as industrialized nations consume energy and developing countries increase their fossil fuel consumption, the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere will continue to rise. Researchers predict that temperatures will increase about 2 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the century. What's less certain is what rising temperatures mean for the planet.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, are driving up activities like the burning of fossil fuels have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than a third since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands of years. Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica, are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise and spills out of the oceans, flooding coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme. This means not only more intense major storms, floods, and heavy snowfall, but also longer and more frequent droughts. These changes in weather pose challenges. Growing crops becomes more difficult. The areas where plants and animals can live shift, and water supplies are diminished. In addition to creating new agricultural challenges, climate change can directly affect people's physical health.
That's it for the videos. So my social media posts are that the first media post is important because it warns us the temperature in the atmosphere is increasing, and the second one shows us that Donald Trump does not believe in climate change and does not support the idea of climate change. So the first meme says that if something doesn't get done regarding making the air cleaner, that we will be in trouble in the future, and then the second picture shows that the polar bear is limited with space on ice or snow and that its life is in danger. So each of these graphs and statistics show us how much the temperature has increased over the years and how much of each gas is contributing to the increase of air temperature. So these satires show that polar bears are in danger of their life and that their life is in huge risk, so if they don't get help, then they're going to be doomed. So the way how my theory applies is that conflict theory has to do with Donald Trump because Donald Trump wants to be dominant and powerful, and he doesn't want to believe in climate change, and that is the main conflict between Democrats and Republicans. That's basically what this slide is saying. So global warming summary is that global warming happens when carbon dioxide, CO2, and other toxins in the air and greenhouse gases gather in the air and use sunlight and solar radiation that has impacted the Earth's surface. Global warming has negative impacts of oceans, weather, food, and health. In the past century, the planet's temperature has risen unusually fast. The natural atmospheric greenhouse is a natural result on Earth that keeps the average surface temperature at approximately 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is warmer than if there would not be the concentrations of air of a number of greenhouse gases are going up because of human activities. Dangerously, the speed of rise, such as how quickly the greenhouse gases are gathering in the atmosphere, is increasing. There was a measurable rise the global average surface temperature at approximately 0.8 degrees Celsius, 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit since 1860. The climate of Earth keeps being different throughout its history due to human influence. This displays global and regional changes. The burning of fossil has increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere. Naturally occurring gases in the atmosphere trap some of this energy and reflect it back, warming the Earth. So, my questions for you are, have we ever thought about what you can do to stop global warming? Have we ever thought about what global warming can lead to us in the future? And have we ever wondered how severe global warming can get? Thank you, and that's all.